My name is Guy Novello, and I am a finance specialist at the Connecticut Public Utilities Regulatory Authority. I work in the Revenue Requirements Unit. Today in this video, I'd like to talk a little bit about the allowed rate of return. In this video, I hope to answer three quick questions about the rate of return. Why does PURA have this authority? What is an allowed rate of return? And how is this rate of return determined? Why does PURA have this authority? PURA is a quasi-judicial agency that interprets and applies the statutes and regulations governing all aspects of Connecticut's utility sector. PURA is statutorily charged with ensuring that Connecticut's investor-owned utilities, including the state's electric, natural gas, and water companies, provide safe, clean, reliable, and affordable utility service and infrastructure. Included in this oversight is the setting of rates that utilities charge to ratepayers. One aspect of setting these rates for ratepayers is the allowed rate of return. Through years of judicial and legislative precedent, investor-owned utilities are allowed to earn a return on the capital they employ and use to build, expand, and maintain the infrastructure of electric, gas, and water utilities. So what is capital? Capital is wealth in the form of money or other assets owned by a person or organization that is available or contributed for a particular purpose, such as starting a company or investing. All firms have a cost for the capital they employ. There are several different types of capital. Specifically for our purposes, we deal with debt, which is money that's borrowed by a company. This comes in various tranches like senior, subordinated, callable. And these note agreements can hold a variety of clauses and may have liens on property, such as mortgage-backed security. There's equity capital, and here the holders retain ownerships in the business that they hold equity shares in. And then there's preferred stock, which is a hybrid between debt and equity and comes in various different forms. All firms are competing for capital. All firms, public and private, regulated or not, compete for sources of capital to run and expand their businesses. This is no different for investor-owned utilities. The firms PURA regulates must be able to earn a return that will be able to compete for that capital and allow them to keep operating in a way that will keep providing safe and reliable service to the end user and allow the utility to compete with other utilities in the attraction of capital. And all companies have a capital structure in their financing. The definition of a capital structure is the particular distribution of debt, equity, and preferred stock and possible other sources that make up the finances of a company. Companies strive to obtain an optimal capital structure where the average cost of capital is as low as the economy allows. Below is a pie chart of a typical capital structure for a company. Here at PURA, we primarily use two or three components to determine the inputs to the capital structure. We use the cost of debt, which the authority uses the historical cost of fixed cost capital items. The cost of equity, this is the number PURA ultimately determines, and the focal point of the cost of capital part of the rate proceeding. This includes inputs from the company's cost of capital witnesses, the Office of Consumer Counsel, and ultimately the determining body, PURA. Then there's the cost of preferred stock, if any. Once we have our respective allowed percentages of the capital structure and the cost of equity and debt, we can determine the weighted average cost of capital, otherwise known as WACC. Below is a simple example of a company's weighted average cost of capital. We assume that a company has 50% equity and 50% debt for its capital structure. Then we also assume that the cost of debt is 5%, the cost of equity is 9.25%. Then we can calculate the weighted averages and arrive at a total weighted cost for the firm that is referred to as the WACC. This WACC is the rate of return that we use for a regulated utility. This weighted average cost of capital becomes the rate of return required by the utility to meet all its obligations and earn a fair and reasonable return. With this rate of return number, the authority can now calculate the revenue requirement for the regulated utility. For more information on what the revenue requirement is, please see the revenue requirement informational video on PURA's YouTube channel. Thank you for watching my video, and hopefully you found it helpful and informational as regards to the allowed cost of capital for regulated utility. Please visit the PURA YouTube page for other informational videos about PURA and what we do. Thank you.